Welcome one, welcome all to another episode of Cut Ups. I believe we're on episode 10 of Cut Ups. Let's crack open the beer. Welcome to ASMR with Steve. I'm just kidding. We're not doing that. Stephen Osentoski here at Stephen Toski on Twitter, bringing you Cut Ups. Nail biter of a game, right? Nail biter. Truly, truly close game. Heck of a performance from Illinois. Obviously, some downsides with some injuries. A couple players held out. Blake Corum went down. A little bit of everything in this game. So lots to learn, lots to go through. Give another minute for people to stroll in here, but excited to go over this game. I was a mess during the game, and I always get like that during a close game. I'm trying to improve on it, but I am just a nervous wreck, and I just am not fun to be around. And this game, I haven't had a game like that this season. I forgot what it felt like to be in that scenario, be in that mindset. Not fun. Something to improve on. It's what is the term? A nervous Nelly. It's what the community calls him, right? If anyone gets that reference. Okay. Let's see here. Let's just kick it off. Okay. So Michigan gets the win, right? 1917. Just me. Trevor's still out. Hoping to get him back here soon, but we move forward just like Michigan moves forward undefeated. Ooh, how smooth was that, right? Okay, let me pull up the pen. Let's decide the colors here. All right. Do we do white? Do we do orange? I think we got to do white for them. Let's see. Obviously, that's Michigan. What kind of orange do we have here for Illinois? Do we do that or do we do white? I kind of like white. If I'm being honest. Yeah, I don't think that looks bad. Okay. Okay. Let's actually. Orange does look kind of good. All right, I'm going to do orange. I'm calling it. Doing orange. All right, here we go. Let's make this big. Make me small. All right, let's get going. First play of the game here. Big run for Blake Corum. Right, the broadcast must have loved this. They opened the game with a bunch of highlights of Blake Corum, and then he runs out, picks up a huge gain on the ground. Let's get into the blocking here. Let's shift to the end zone view. And what do we got? We got lead power. And I call this lead power because you have Colson Loveland coming out of the backfield here. Hold on, I got something funky. I don't like that on my screen here. So you got Colson Loveland kind of as your primary kick-out block here. And then you have both Zinter and Ronnie Bell cutting across the formation. So for all your down linemen, boom, 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 and boom. Actually, sorry, he's reaching across. So you're pulling Zinter across here. You got Ronnie Bell coming across here. Colson Loveland sets the edge. Okay. Now, I don't know exactly if Ronnie Bell is supposed to follow Zinter. Okay. So that's a play design, right? You see both the pull from Zinter. He's the first through the hole. And then you got Ronnie Bell. I'm not sure if Ronnie Bell is supposed to go outside of this block or inside. To me, he probably should be following Zinter here. Maybe he's IDing Brown on the outside, and that's why he cuts the outside. But anyway, that's the play design. For the block here, it's supposed to be a double here between Honingford and Hayes. Honingford will drop off to pick up the linebacker, right? And then you got 1, 2, 3 for 1, 2, and 3 blockers, right? So you have this guy taken out. Really, this is your best chance if you're Illinois to flow without a blocker accounting for him. Okay. So it's well blocked overall. Ronnie Bell cuts to the outside here. Not exactly sure why he goes to the outside, right? To me, he should be following his guard through the hole. He isn't. But Blake Corum does a good job. And what he does here is punishes the over pursuit, right? This guy is responsible for anything that cuts back, anything that is cutting back across the grain here, and that's what Blake Corum is going to do, he goes way too far. And Blake Corum, because he doesn't telegraph where he's going, right? Again, here's Blake Corum being patient, patient, patient. Boom. Look how far that safety, right? This safety was just over here a little bit ago. He flowed all the way this way because of how far and how long it took for Blake Corum to commit. Now he's out of position, right? Honigford does a great job. Here's Ryan Hayes getting a great block, and this opens up, right? So even though Ronnie Bell, I think, went outside when he should have been following the guard, I'm not 100% on the play design, right? This is speculation. But he cuts back into the hole. Boom. There he goes. And look at that crater that is opened, right? The C's have opened, and Honigford and Hayes are to thank for that on the backside. So good job going against the grain here, right? Making a couple guys miss. And then the rest is just a couple good blocks, right? Good job from Cornelius Johnson, just getting a chip here, right? You'd like for him to stay connected on this guy. And then you got JJ McCarthy flying up the sideline. Now, one thing to note at the end of this play, Blake Corum goes out of bounds. And he goes out of bounds here a little early, like JJ McCarthy just gets lit up like it's the Big Ten championship game, right? Because he's following, very similar to the play against Iowa last year with Blake Corum behind. If you're JJ McCarthy, probably don't look to lay a giant block like this, right? More just like get in the way, right? Get in the way and let your running back cut off of you. But notice how early Blake Corum is going out of bounds. This seemed like a game where they probably told him like, hey, protect your body, right? Which in hindsight sucks because he obviously got hurt. We'll cover that play later. Ugh. But yeah, he seemingly was told to protect his body. He's doing that here. JJ McCarthy maybe didn't get the memo. Probably should have a little bit better. Okay, but great first play, right? Great first play, showcasing Blake Corum creating his own yards. Here, I really liked this play design just for getting Ronnie Bell in a situation where he's really good. What I mean by that is by sending a wide receiver in motion like this. Illinois really likes to do man coverage. So when you send a guy in motion, he also is going and is still man-to-man against Ronnie Bell. So Michigan takes advantage of that fact of look how far 31 is off the line of scrimmage. Okay, that's a lot of distance to work. And then look at the leverage, right? He's probably, 2-3 yards behind here. So Ronnie Bell is going to run up in a quick out route. That's a lot of space for 31 to come up, cover, and then get to the outside and follow him on that route, right? So he's already got outside leverage. I really poorly drew that. It's not that deep of an out route, but it's going like this, right? And then you have this little pick route here, this sit route. And this is, again, just tough for this defensive back to work through, right? He has to go around this defensive back, go around that route in order to adequately cover Ronnie Bell there. So it's a good concept. And the other thing that this takes advantage of, because of that distance, Ronnie Bell isn't that quick, right? But you get him running, right? So you get him running here. So it's not a big deal that he's not that quick. He's already running, right? He's close to full speed there. So you take advantage of that. And then you take advantage of his short area quickness, right? He can stop on a dime and do really well in that, right? That's one of his bread and butters is his, and that's part of the reason he's such an effective punt returner is because of his stop and start ability. Huge as a punt returner, right? So because of that motion, you get that extra space, you get that that ability because you know this guy is going to be closing with a lot of space between him and the wide receiver. Because of that, you give your opportunity for your best guy in space and Ronnie Bell to make a move after the catch, right? Boom, make that stop and start, and now you have additional room to operate. The additional aspect of this is it gives your quarterback something simple to start with, right? JJ McCarthy been struggling a little bit, right? This is the one read. This is where the ball is going, right? So you get your quarterback a nice short throw, get him that confidence, get him that, mainly just that confidence, right? This is a nice, easy play. Get that ball completed, feel good about it, trust your eyes here. It's just a nice, easy read and pick up a big first down on your first drive, right? So there's lots of benefits. Take advantage of the skill set that player gives you, and you pick up a first down. Nice and easy. Here we go. Handoff here, and this is just small ball. I don't know why I said mall ball. Are we at a mall? I don't know. Mall of Monroe is not a fun mall if you're ever in Monroe, Michigan. Monroe, Michigan. Here, you're just barreling in. Okay. There's no analysis here. I'm mainly just putting this because this was a good sign, right? A good sign that you're at third and goal. Everyone knows what's coming. Illinois, pretty stout defense, right? Number 3 or so defense according to SB Plus from ESPN. And this is just, you know where the ball's going. It's going to Corum, and this is just about getting push off the ball, right? So Illinois was a really good test on the ground overall, especially without Corum. So when you have an opportunity like this to just move the defensive line, and you're able to do that when both they know and you know what you're trying to accomplish, that's just a good sign. So Michigan goes up early. Let's go on defense. 3rd and 2 here. I feel like this is a very Iowa play for Illinois. Wonderful spot to go watch a game, by the way. Go to Iowa. Don't go and get drunk and be hungover for the second half like I did and then watch them lose to a last-second field goal. Yes, I went in 2016. That wasn't fun. But this is how you defend an Iowa-ish play. If you're ever in the – I don't know. No one here is going to be playing Iowa, but you know what I mean. No, you don't. Okay. So what's the play design? Everyone just sprint out to the right, okay? That's all we're doing here. The route tree have this little whip route-ish thing here. Have a deeper out route. Oh, why did you do that? Software. I'm telling you guys. Deeper out route. Sorry about this. You get to watch me draw again. Little whip route to the outside. And then a flat route, okay? So because you're rolling out your quarterback here, right? This is the direction. Just roll out this way. Chase Brown, just your lead blocker here. You're just reading 3 levels here. Make it easy. Get your quarterback on the run. This is all you have to read, right? Nothing over here. You're just looking to get a matchup, probably reading low to high. That's generally how these plays work, where when I say low to high, I mean 1, 2, and 3. Get low, get higher, get real high. That's what you're looking for. So Michigan does a good job defending this. And I think Braden McGregor deserves a lot of credit on the outside, number 17. Deserves a lot of credit for engaging this blocker, working up, getting almost kind of like a Sam linebacker, right? He engages Chase Brown as well, the backfield, and that leaves one of your quicker players and quickest player, probably I should say, DJ Turner into the backfield, right? So there's Braden McGregor. Look at what Braden McGregor does, right, against those 2 blockers. Boom and boom, right? So even if Tommy DeVito wants to continue, rolling out here, this is RJ Moten. I'm wrong. You get RJ Moten here right into the backfield because Braden McGregor takes on those 2 blocks. So really good job by him to get into the backfield here, makes good contact, and cuts off this play, right? Because of the slow run, right, you kind of want the ability of the quarterback to continue out here, maybe threaten the run. Because of this play from Braden McGregor, you cut that off and you accelerate this, right? At this time, where is Tommy DeVito looking to pass the ball, right? You got covered, maybe a little bit of space that'll open here late. But by the time that happens, right, he's got an RJ Moten flying down and taking him out at the hip. So it's not great for him. I don't think other angle will show us too much, but we got it, so I'll show it. Just good assignment football, right? Makari Page especially does an exceptional job right here reading this and gets on the hip of that tight end, releasing to the flats. And everyone else does a decent job. DJ Turner gets a little bit separated here. So if Tommy DeVito wants to throw in this area, right, that probably was there. But at this point, he's already getting rushed pretty hard from RJ Moten, and Tommy DeVito is please don't kill me mode and just throws it away. So good job getting off the field. We're back on offense. Here we go. 3rd and 6. The first running back screen I've seen in like a year plus. I don't remember last time Michigan ran a screen. Another play here, really weird that Blake Corum stepped out of bounds here. Not exactly sure what happened. Looks like had a touchdown. I was pretty convinced this was going to be a touchdown, but really well executed and something that Michigan has not put on film all year, really. I couldn't remember it. So really well done all around. I don't think I have a better angle of this. So we'll go with this angle. Who's releasing to the outside? Got a couple players here. Really good job from Colson Loveland. Watching Colson Loveland, he's going to release out here. He's going to take a step back and then look for anything inside flowing. He's going to pick up the first guy coming out here. I believe it's this linebacker. So let's watch Colson Loveland on the edge here on this first cycle through the film. Right, boom, picks up that defender, releases, takes out number 8 coming inside. Really great block right there. Biggest block of the play. All right, so he sets that up. He makes it possible. Second block, good job from El Hadi. El Hadi right here. I just like saying his name. He's going to block this defensive end, and then he's going to release out, set up shop, take out the first guy to the outside. There he is. Boom, get initial chip, get out, get depth, and then he's going to pick up the guy that Colson Loveland passed off. Right, Colson Loveland here, decleating this parcel. And then now he's set up against number 5, right? Good chip from Colson Loveland, delayed number 5 a little bit, and now El Hadi is out there. El Hadi then, boom, good job. And good hips, right? You don't need to get this block 100%. If this guy wants to come upfield, right, trust your running back is going to be able to beat that, right? So just be out here, just get a chip on him, force him away, and that's all you need to do, right? Number 5, you want to work up that way. Good luck catching Blake Corum, right? And then the only other block that is really play side is your center. So Oluwatimi, he's going to block right here, and then he's going to release out and be the last line of defense for anyone who's flowing back. The safety comes down, get any of those players that are reacting to that. So Oluwatimi gets the chip. He's working out, and now Oluwatimi is a large man running in space. Right, look at him go. There's a safety. Would you like to see Oluwatimi do a little bit better there? Sure, but he's also an offensive lineman working against a safety in this situation, right? So how good can you do? He gets a good chip on him. If I'm Oluwatimi, maybe do a what is it? I've fallen and I can't get up. What is that? Life alert. Pull a life alert and maybe like go down and just kind of get in the way of this guy, right? And that'll give a clear path for Blake Corum. He doesn't. He gets a chip. But Blake Corum, I feel like I've seen Blake Corum win this matchup 99 out of 100 times, right? Right here, you pause. I'm telling you, Blake Corum's gone. For whatever reason, Blake Corum holds up here, doesn't like his chances, and is trying to save another meeting with the ground, meeting with the turf there. To me, I feel like he probably could have, I don't know, seems like he slowed down. So a little bit weird. The other aspect of this play I want to call out, don't love this throw. Right, he has a little pump fake here, waiting for Blake Corum to get out further. That's way too close, right? You got Ryan Hayes here ducking. Ryan Hayes right here sees the ball. He's like, oh, crap, this is going to hit me in the dome. So he has to duck, barely avoids number 4, right? I mean, the ball's probably a little bit past at this point, but it's really close. And there's no need to provide the ball that on that line, right, at helmet height there. There's no reason to do that. So if he can loft the ball a little bit, right, just loft the ball, give it a little air under it, right, and let your running back go get it, right? You got plenty of time, you got plenty of space. Just loft it a little bit more against a better defensive line, or JT Tuamoya. I don't know how to pronounce his name. How do you pronounce his name? JT Tuimoloau. Promise I'm not the worst. This name, right? This guy who went Tuimoloau. I'm butchering it. I'm so sorry, JT. But that guy went off against Penn State, right? Had like sack, 2 interceptions, another tip ball for an interception, just wild, right? So that's what I'm thinking when I see this play. Number 4, instead of that guy, it's the that Ohio State defensive end, and that could be trouble, right? So just put more loft on the ball, and I think you'll have a better time. But overall, good execution, right? That's something Michigan had not been doing a lot of the year, and now it's an additional aspect that Ohio State will have to prepare for. So netted a big gain. I thought it could have been a touchdown, but regardless, you get a first down. You're in enemy territory here. Oh, I was like, why did I put this one in? This is like a weird play to put in. And then I remembered that you could have probably had a touchdown if J.J. McCarthy kept. Okay. Let's back up. And what do you got? You got kind of a, what is this, like pin pull read option? I don't know the exact term for it. Actually, no, it's just you're just pulling one guy. So it's just power. Read power. So you're pulling your backside guard here. And yeah, so you're leaving your edgemost defender here. You're pulling your backside guard to pick up this edge defender who comes up. And then what's your numbers in the box right at this point? Let's take him out of the box. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. I can count 3, 4, 5, 6. I can count. Boom. Right? So you eliminate this guy with the read, with the eyes of J.J. McCarthy. So if he comes flying down, right, you keep to the outside, boom. Because him adding himself into the box, right, that means it's +1. Why did I put the 1 over there? That's not good. This is bad math. And then if this guy instead stays, if he stays here, he's taking himself out of the play. Then you give, and you got 6 on 6 in the box. Them's winning numbers. Am I right? And you're all good. So what does that guy do? He comes flying down, right? Read his hips. What is he doing right here at the match point, right? This is the point where J.J. McCarthy has to decide. This guy's flying down, right? If this guy's closer in the backfield, if he's right here, his direction is this way, then yeah, then you give. But he's not doing that. He's working his way down the line. You fake this, keep to the outside, one-on-one block, one-on-one block. This guy's not a chance to get there, and you're golden. Should be a touchdown. It's not the case. Gives the ball, makes the play. 17 backside, boom. We don't get to see J.J. McCarthy's reaction. Usually in these scenarios in the past, he's given a little clap, a little oh shucks, right? That's kind of what he's done. So we don't get to see that this time. But I think that's a miss, clear miss. And this is a good question heading into this game. Was the read open for J.J. McCarthy to keep? And that is something that we will not know the answer. Later on in the game, it seemed like it opened up, right? Where they were like, uh-oh, Blake Corum's out. We need to enter the quarterback keep if we want to escape this game with a win. But at this point, first quarter, halfway through the first, was the read open for J.J. McCarthy to keep? Or was he told, hey, let's just keep all of the reads off the table and go from there. So that's where we're at. Woof, right? I mean, that's all you can say. He should have kept that, would have been gone, or at least close to gone. And he didn't. So missed opportunity there. 3rd and 9. Right, this is shortly after that play. And Blake Corum gets caught in the backfield. This one I don't really understand in terms of I think we have a better angle of this, actually. I don't like the sun. The sun is bright. Washes it out. So, yeah, okay. I like this play because it puts into question how much did Michigan prep for Illinois specifically versus how much were they preparing for Ohio State, right? 2 different defenses. How much do you prepare for what Illinois puts on film? Something new that Illinois did. Illinois was really clever in kind of the stunts that they pulled here. Maybe they thought this was going to be a pass rush, but this is split zone for Michigan. Split zone, again, doesn't look like the read is on. If the read is on, what I mean by doesn't look like the read is on, I mean it looks like J.J. McCarthy is potentially keeping this guy home or reading off of this, right? If he comes down the line, then you keep on the run to the outside. It doesn't look like that because the H-back you're sending across the formation here blocks this guy, right? So usually when you're reading someone, you're not going to have a blocker account for him. Because this is split zone, the eyes here can help keep this defensive end home enough for the H-back to come in and block off the edge. So what are the blocks looking like beyond that? You traditionally want a double here to then release and get to the second level. You want to release Colson Loveland, 18, to the linebacker level as well. There's no one for him to block here. 101 block here. And then 101 block here. And I think that's it. I think that's it as well. Ryan Hayes, 101 block there. So the interesting thing is they're changing their gap responsibility here if you're Illinois. And what I mean by that is this defensive tackle is looping around. He's attacking this A gap. So this double that's supposed to block through this nose tackle into the linebacker, what Illinois is doing, they're replacing this, right? If you initially think that this linebacker is the one responsible for this A gap, right? What they're actually doing, they're looping. This guy's going to be responsible for this gap. And then this linebacker is replacing here. So it's a good reaction here from El Hadi, right? He sees his one-on-one block right there. That's vacated, right? Now number 4 is elsewhere. How do they react, right? Here's the double coming off between Zinter and who is that? Is that Barnhart? And then what El Hadi is doing, he's saying, okay, I can't reach number 4 anymore, but I can reach this linebacker. So El Hadi is going to react and reach this linebacker, but Zinter is also, look at his eyes. He's also going to get this linebacker. So that leaves number 4 completely unblocked here. So if we fast forward a little bit, there's number 4. Zinter's getting a little bit of a piece of him, but not enough. And this guy's already through. He's penetrating. The additional aspect of this is Oluwatimi simply loses his block, right? Something I haven't said pretty much all year, but watch Oluwatimi, 55, right? He just straight up loses one-on-one in this defensive tackle. Again, Oluwatimi, one of the best offensive linemen, best centers in the country, loses that block. And that forces Blake Corum to stagger and redirect, right? There's that defensive tackle. Blake Corum has to move. He cuts to the left, and there's number 4, right? Number 4 was that defensive tackle that looped around into the A gap, right? Not able to pick him up cleanly between this double and El Hadi, and then he slips through to pick up the scraps, right? So one-on-one play from that defensive tackle against Oluwatimi, that wins the initial play, but then that little stunt from number 4, that makes the initial contact after the redirect for Blake Corum. So give credit, right? Illinois had a good play call, and this defeated that double team. El Hadi had to redirect to the linebacker, but guess what? Zinter wasn't prepared to say, yeah, you take the linebacker, I'll take this stunty defensive lineman. They weren't on the same page there. So that's tough. I mean, that asks a lot of the offensive line, and it was the right stunt call for that play. Here, 2nd and 8, wanted to call out Junior Colson. What is going on? Why is it so laggy? So really like this play design, little tunnel screen action. And it's really good job from the eyes here of Junior Colson of not bailing too early. What I mean by that, you're pulling both 78 and 54, right? Usually when you see this, you want people to be bailing, right? Get them inside here. That's what I'm just not going to say that. So especially with this play fake, right? Pull here, give a fake here. Obviously you're going to have everyone here committing to this, right? The additional thing is get this boundary player, who in this case is Junior Colson, to also kind of creep up and get backside here. And that's going to open up this little tunnel screen, right? So you have this guy coming back here, get the block, and then once you have that, right, you'll have enough motion inside of the defenders here, and especially this player. This is the key player to get that. So then when you're releasing your offensive lineman out, you can have a clear path for number 1, Isaiah Williams, back to the inside. So it's a good job here from Junior Colson. Probably recognize that from film or something, to stay home, right? He doesn't overcommit to this. He stays home, and he's rewarded with this gap, right? He's able to beat this offensive lineman running like hell to the outside. He's able to beat that, gets there, and makes a good play. So that's Junior Colson trusting his read, trusting his eyes, able to redirect and make contact 1 yard beyond the line of scrimmage. Really good play from him because he's able to do that, right? Make that contact. You're able to get additional help here from your flowing defenders and help bring them down. So that plays from Junior Colson, right? He's a young linebacker, had his ups and downs. This one was a for sure up and a really good play from the true sophomore. All right, we're back on offense here. 7 zips still. JJ McCarthy misses high. Okay, I'm going to get on my soapbox about the passing game here a little bit. Okay. I don't like to, but I have to because it's a problem, right? It's a legit problem. I had concerns, and now it's a for sure problem. This isn't a bad ball. It's not a perfect ball, but it's not a bad ball. So Michigan, I like the play design, right? Little play action here. Michigan's in max protect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right. So you're only sending out 2 routes. You got Andrel Anthony on a short of shallow cross, excuse me. And you're sending Roman Wilson in motion here, right? At the snap, he's going and he's doing a deeper kind of a post route. So you got a shallow route here and a post route. So again, I really like this because it's making things simple on your quarterback, taking advantage of the run game success, right? Colson Loveland going in this motion makes it look like sort of a split zone as well, right? He's just going into block. You got block on the front side. So it's a nice little play design. I like it a lot. And you're taking advantage again. What is Roman Wilson's skill set? Fast as hell, not the best route runner, but he's really fast. He's got decent hands that we've seen in the past. Just sometimes not the best in through contact, right? So get him in motion across formation, utilize that speed, get him into a full speed scenario. And the ball is delivered a little high, a little behind him, right? If with this separation, right? If this ball is delivered here on this route, right? Witherspoon, a good defensive back for Illinois, but he's a couple steps behind, right? If this is delivered right here, you could see a potential touchdown if that's delivered in stride. I'm not saying it's a perfect throw. Out of 10, it's probably a 6.5, 7, right? Where it's very catchable, makes the job of the wide receiver a little bit more difficult, but that's tough. That's tough, right? And these are types of catches where I feel like we've seen these wide receivers in the past, like these exact wide receivers, been able to make these catches. So I don't know what's happening. Like I don't know what's happening. And this is just one example. I'm trying to look at the footwork here for JJ McCarthy. Let me see. I mean, footwork doesn't look bad, right? Like the mechanics here for JJ McCarthy, they don't look bad. I mean, it's a good looking ball, just a little behind and a little high. Again, probably 7 out of 10 throw. Misses high, that absolutely has to be caught. Why does Michigan always have receivers who can't catch a ball? I mean, I think DPJ, Nico Collins. I mean, again, a lot of these guys were catching these balls. So I don't know. It's just a weird confluence of errors. Any Confluence fans out there? I'm just kidding. It reminds me of work. So anyway, this ball is a little high, but I mean, catch the ball, right? You gotta catch that ball. And it's almost the case with a lot of these misses that I'm seeing, especially between Cornelius Johnson and this specific miss, is hands not getting on the ball quick enough. Like it's almost like his hands aren't getting there quick enough, right? Where there's too much separation between his hands and he's not closing his fingers around the ball, right? That seems to be the issue here. That's kind of the issue I've seen with Cornelius Johnson in the past too. So I don't know. I don't know if this is technique. Seems like it, but I don't know. It's very interesting to me. So it's a bummer. Are there issues with JJ McCarthy and missing throws? We'll get to them, right? Look at my face. Look at my face. We'll get to them, okay? We'll get to them. But this isn't that case. Help your quarterback out once in a while, right? You got to help your quarterback out. This isn't helping him. So that's the concern, where it's not just one thing. It's not just every wide receiver missing catches. It's not just JJ McCarthy overthrowing or not throwing an accurate ball. It's just little things with multiple instances, multiple wide receivers, right? It's not just one wide receiver. It's just a mix of different errors here and there that we're seeing consistently. And that's scary. and I don't like scary. I actually do like scary movies, but I don't like scary football games. People can attest to that. Okay, this is another issue. Oh man, we're just getting to all the issues here. Um, Another fun thing that I like here for Michigan, running Tyler Morris here in motion, right? So another case of Michigan doesn't like certain guys in press man. How do you get them out of that? Stack them up, right? If you've got two wide receivers that are stacked up here, look what that does to man coverage. You're not able to press as much. You need to run them in motion. Now you get a free release for your true freshman wide receiver, right? Tyler Morris, not that strong, probably not the best guy in man. So putting him in motion gets him escaped from that kind of from that sort of press that he probably isn't comfortable with. But here's another issue, right? And I want you to pay attention to these two routes here from Michigan. Look how congested it's going to be here in a second. Like I don't know exactly what they're trying to do here. It seems like Colson Loveland is trying to work up the seam and Tyler Morris work to the outside here. That's what it seems like. But they're just running into each other, right? They're running into each other. And there's just nothing developed by the time that JJ McCarthy has to bail, right? There might have been something here if Tyler Morris is able to escape this. But look at the eyes for JJ McCarthy initially. He's looking at a mess, right? I don't know why I said it like that. He's looking at a mess. But he's backing up. He's reading that, right? And it really seems like Colson Loveland is supposed to be running up here. Tyler Morris running out to the flat, create some chaos here. And this is where the ball's supposed to go, right? That's what it seems like to me. But Illinois is running a blitz here. They're running this linebacker off the blitz here. Not a great pass off between the left side of the offensive line there. El Hadi, right, is taken inside from this defensive tackle. Blake Corum's running out on a route, so he's not able to pass protect. Oluwatimi's blocking here, so you're not able to have anyone pick up this deeper blitz from the linebacker. And JJ McCarthy has to escape, right? So that's two knocks. Not able to pick up the blitz. Those routes between Morrison and Colson Loveland were gross. And step 3 here, right? JJ McCarthy, even with that, able to escape the pocket, right? Improvise. Great. That's what you want. When he's rolling out to his left, he really struggles to find open targets. You have to turn your body, right? It makes it a little bit more difficult. Ooh, get the live action Stephen here. You get to turn your body because you want to lead with your left shoulder when you're going out to the left, right? You have to completely turn your hips, turn your body in order to throw that accurate ball. Seemingly not going back to the last game as well, and some previous examples, he's not able to do that very comfortably right now. So even though right here, right, this defender has made a definitive decision. I'm coming up, I'm defending this run, right? Otherwise, there's a lane here. But because this guy eliminates that, look what you got. You got Colson Loveland over the top, right? Just float it up. And that's first down, especially when it's 3rd and 10, okay? If it's 1st and 10, maybe you're a little scared about that. Or 2nd and 10, right? Maybe you're a little scared about this little dump off. On 3rd and 10, right? Air on the side of the sideline. Throw it to the sideline where only your guy can catch it. So that's a little bit of a bummer that he wasn't able to find that, and he just decides to run out of bounds, right? What do you gain by that? That's frustrating, right? Again, just another set of frustrations that we have in the pass game here. Okay, Michigan has to give the ball away to Illinois. Let's go back to Illinois, break down another defensive play. This ended up in a drop, but this play terrified me, okay? Absolutely terrified me. Love the play design. What's the play design, you ask? Little fake, right? Just a little quick play action here. That's going to get everyone here reacting to the run. And then you're going to do just this quick little screen, right? So you do a little pump fake, just a little pump fake, right? A little pump fake out here. And what does that do? Especially because you have these sort of stalk blocks out of these wide receivers. Little stalk block, right? Where it doesn't look like they're running routes. It looks like they're coming out to lay a block on the defensive backs here. And then they're going to release. And then he's going to release on a sort of wheel-looking route to the outside, right? Let's do that. There's your little pump fake. Boom. Now you release, right? And it's really great design because Rod Moore is flying down here. right? Rod Moore sees this, wrong color, sees this, flies down on this little bubble screen, right? That's where his eyes are. He's looking here, boom. And this wide receiver, right, little stalk block, boom, now he's running a post. That's going to take this defensive back out of there. Mike Sainer still is also working against this, right? He's going to work against this, boom, get into the backfield here on this screen pass. And that leaves who exactly to cover this little stalk block? Just kidding, release on a little wheel, right? There's going to be nobody back here. Makari Page is really the only guy left because of how hard Michigan is biting on that screenplay. So this leaves me terrified for Ohio State because they're not going to drop those, and they also run a lot of screens, right? So it's really tough to defend, and it's when it executed really well, it's really effective. So really good play. Michigan's lucky that this guy just drops the ball, literally, and drops the ball for his offense. Get it? Like dropping the ball, like letting someone down, blah, blah, blah. Something I'm good at. Self-burn. Okay. 4th and 1 here. Mason Graham is a true freshman defensive tackle. Right? And I say that because I have to continually remind myself that he's a true freshman defensive tackle. So who are we watching here? This guy. All right. Just zoom in on this guy. I circle him twice. Boom. Hands on. Rip. And he's in the backfield. Really, really nice job disengaging, able to tackle the running back in the backfield. This is just elite level hands on the center, right? Mason Graham, again, boom, the initial punch, that shove with the right arm, right? This right arm is going to shove 75 this way. He's going to rip over this swim move with his left, right? Boom, get over. And then he's also making contact with that, right? So not only does he have his left hand pushing away, he's bringing this left hand over, boom, get it into the body, into the chest here of 75, get additional leverage there. Additional leverage, boom, makes contact, is able to bring him down. Huge stop, right? Huge stop. Additional good play here from Braden McGregor, right? He has outside contain here. You got Rod Moore responsible for this gap. I think this is Mozzie Smith working between this, and Junior Colson is going to work here, right? So those are kind of the gaps that you're looking for. But Mason Graham makes this play, and then Braden McGregor just doing a good job running hard down the line of scrimmage, right? So because Mason Graham wins there, Braden McGregor wins here as well. They meet in the backfield and able to get a good hit there on Chase Brown. So really well done. I think the only area for improvement here would be for Braden McGregor to come a little bit lower on this, right? Just what a great move from Mason Graham. But great, Braden McGregor, right? Good job coming in, but go low, right? I don't want to say like go for the knees, right? But take out the guy's hip, right? Take him out here. If you hit him up high on the shoulders, he has a chance to undercut that, right? And all he needs is a yard. So especially in this scenario, the lower you can hit him, the less chance that he's going to fall forward. But really good stop. Again, Mason Graham playing like an above average defensive tackle. I would say even really good defensive tackle. And he's true freshman. Just absolutely wild. You don't see that ever. Here, this feels like a setup play to me. It looks very similar to Michigan's double pass in the Big Ten championship game last year. So the main issue here, right, it's almost just like stretch blocking a little bit. The main issue here is not a good enough job from Hibner blocking to the outside. Okay, so here are your blocks for the Michigan wide receivers. Block here, block here. Hibner is reaching out with goals to get to this corner. The issue is it's a tough 1-2 block where he needs to make enough of a block on 19 before he gets out to this cornerback, with the hopes that Carson Barnhart, who's also getting out there and is also an offensive lineman, can eventually pick up this defender, right? So you want to pass him off to your offensive lineman and then get out after that point. The issue is Hibner does not hold that block enough, right? And give credit to this defender for stretching this out, right? He runs appropriately this far, stretches it out, and forces Blake Corum back inside here. And Barnhart's never able to get out there, right? At this point, Barnhart says, okay, I'm not able to get out there. I'm going to just continue upfield. And Hibner says, okay, I've done my job. I'm also getting upfield. And the result is nobody blocks 19. So a little bit miscommunication. I think Hibner probably should have stayed on that block, right? And wait until your offensive lineman is there before 49, or just so 49 isn't there to force Corum back inside. So I think that's just a young player in Hibner not doing a good job with 49 there. That's probably keeping him off the field, right? You make mistakes like that, you're in trouble. So it makes for a big loss on 1st and 10. Okay, fast forward here, still 7-0 midway through the second. Illinois' ball. Really like this play design. Wanted to show. I mean, it's very similar to a Michigan offense, right? Where especially watch the reaction to the play action of the linebackers. So watch Barrett, watch Colson doing this play action here to Chase Brown. Watch how far they go up. And this play is specifically designed to pick on these two linebackers because you're going to be running two guys up the seam. Right? So here's your play. Oops. Here's your play action. And now you're up the seam. Right? You see right here, both linebackers are like, oh, crap. They're like, oh, crap, we got. We need to drop back, cover the seam. And the two main routes that Michigan is running here, it's also pretty clever as well that they're running this guy in motion right out here. So you have the reaction here to this sort of screen-based action from your wide receiver. The two outermost wide receivers the outermost at the top of your screen and this wide receiver number 7 are just running up the seam here and attacking this empty area left open because of the reaction to this screen, right, from Jim and Green, and the reaction of these linebackers to the play action for Chase Brown. So that's what a really good running back can do for you. Opens up space across the middle of the field where your linebackers are supposed to be in pass coverage, right? So that opened up that window, and it's a good ball. So, again, nothing like what do you tell your linebackers? Don't react strongly to play action, right? This is more of when you need to commit more and you need better linebacker play to stop a run game, the more you can exploit them in the pass game. So this is a clever concept, and Illinois capitalized on it. Okay, moving forward here, Illinois in Michigan territory after that play probably sees this or after that last play and was like, okay, we need to take advantage of this and make sure we get points on this drive. So, I mean, it's a reverse, right? It's a gadget play. How could Michigan have done better? And it starts and ends with Will Johnson, okay? Because this play, right, is going this way, right? This is a give to Chase Brown in the head, right? When you see that of Will Johnson going down the line of scrimmage like this, going this way, what is Will Johnson going to do against that, right? Just logically, not much. Right? His likelihood of making this play is not a whole lot. Similarly, Jalen Harrell probably not going to, but it makes more sense for him to work down the line of scrimmage here, right? In case of any cutback lane, anything like that, it makes sense for Jalen Harrell, but also for Will Johnson to be doing that same exact thing is pretty naive of him, right? I'll say that. So at this point, Michigan's got, right? So it makes sense for Jalen Harrell to be got in this situation. Doesn't make sense for Will Johnson, right? Will Johnson at this point, right, even earlier, he should have known to just kind of chill out here in case of anything coming around, right? And that's probably something that'll be drilled later on. As soon as you see this action and you see this sort of give, right, first step with the eyes in the backfield here, look for anything over here, right? Is there anything in this direction that is possibly coming back this way, right? Because you do have backside contain on anything that does come back there. So just shift your eyes, right? You don't have to go hell bent on this path and go flying down line of scrimmage, right? You have a guy who can do that in Jalen Harrell. That's his responsibility. Your responsibility is sure, constrict the field here a little bit and keep your eyes peeled for anything coming back the other way. Will Johnson just way over pursues, right? He continues that, doesn't foresee number one coming across, and now you're in trouble, right? Now you're in trouble. Give a lot of credit for Jalen Harrell continuing on this, right? He got from the defensive end position, but he kept going, right? He kept going. Michael Barrett slows him down just enough, and Jalen Harrell picks him up, right? So it could have been worse, right? Only a 12, 13-yard pickup. But you got to do better if you're Will Johnson in this scenario and recognize when there's something backside. Young player, right? It's good to get this on film, get it as a learning lesson and a win, right? But something he still can improve on and make sure he watches out for in the future. All right, 2nd and 6. Again, ladies and gentlemen, say it with me. Mason Graham is a true freshman. Really good play from Chris Jenkins as well. But Mason Graham, man, how many times can I say this guy's name? He's exceptional. He's an exceptional player. So we're looking at sort of has to be duo for Illinois. So duo, they're doubling here. Boom, doubling here. Or split zone. You call it split zone as well. He's coming across formation here. And this is just about gap integrity as well. Where what are the gaps before we look at the individual play for Mason Graham? Boom, you get to the outside here, right? Shade to the outside. Rod Moore has this gap, and that leaves Mason Graham with this gap right here. Linebacker gets this gap, right? Gap, outside here. Or actually, no. You get outside. He has to get in, or he's a corner, so he's not responsible for that. So yeah, I think you have outside here for, is that Chris Jenkins backside? Yeah. So Mason Graham is working through this double team, and just watch how he gets skinny and works his body between 78 and 75, right? He just kind of plants himself and then gets low. Look how much lower his pad level is there, right? He's just really low there. He's able to just disengage. Again, look at that, the violent hands, right? It's almost like he's throwing his whole body between that rip move right there. And he's able to, because he's putting that left hand on the plant arm of 78 right here, right? He's able to immobilize that and make that rip really effective. Really effective. Again, all defensive linemen should wrestle because your handwork will look like this. It's not a guarantee, but I love it. I love the body control. I love the handwork. His footwork is exceptional. He understands leverage. Boom, right? Really exaggerated. And he's able to combine that with his foot. Look how hard of a step that is with his right. He's able to just work through that. Boom. Look at that rip. And then he's able to redirect as well and go face-to-face there with Chase Brown. I mean, it's just an exceptional play. Really, really well done. And the rest is just gap integrity, right? You'd like to see Mozzie Smith. I think this is Mozzie Smith. It might be Kenneth Grant. I can't tell. I'd like to see him do a little bit better on the double team, right? He is getting moved. But good job from Chris Jenkins getting into the backfield here. But really, it's just Mason Graham. Mason Graham finds his way into the backfield. Nothing really backside because Chris Jenkins has this, this is a larger lane that Chase Brown is eyeing, right? He's looking at this, but good gap integrity there from Chris Jenkins. That forces Chase Brown away, and it's Mason Graham that's being a double team and getting through there. So again, how much can I laud the guy on his play? He's going to be an exceptional player, and he's already really good. So he's making huge plays. So that does result in a field goal for Illinois. Back on offense here 2 minutes ago. Really clever counter play for Blake Corum here. Gets into space, just gets caught from number 5 from behind. Really like the play design. And what Illinois, this is taking advantage of what Illinois is in, right? Because they're in man, right? You're manned up. against Ronnie Bell. You're taking advantage of them manning up 31. I think that's Witherspoon, one of their better corners against Ronnie Bell, right? So sending this motion, one of your better wide receivers in man coverage, that leaves empty on the backside here, right? There's nobody else here. Add how they're playing their defensive ends, right? They're crashing down. And that's really useful because then if you can eliminate this guy, all you really need to do is make sure you get around the edge here, right? Get around on this guy. You're pulling across the formation here for your linebacker, and there's your numbers, right? All you need to do on the inside here is just make sure no one else gets the outside, right? But because of the play of this, because of the man coverage that Illinois is often in and following Ronnie Bell, you can take advantage of that, right? And you can get the numbers you want, and based on the behavior, right? Boom, look at 17 here for Illinois. He's crashing down. He's taking himself out of this play, right? Boom, you're in trouble. You're one block here to the outside on this linebacker. That's your only matchup that you need to win if you're Michigan. 17 already took himself out of the play. So there's Colson Loveland, right? Just get your hands on him, right? Allow enough room for Blake Corum to cut behind him. He does that, and then you got a lot of open grass. So well executed, just really good play design and taking advantage of what Illinois does. And then the rest is just Blake Corum making some moves. Does Blake Corum have a chance to break this if he cuts to the outside here instead of going upfield? Maybe, but this guy's momentum is taking him this way, and he makes him miss, right? So that's a good cut. Just happens number 5 is making a good play backside. So yeah, just a really clever and an easy counter, right? And it's also taking advantage of how aggressive these defensive tackles for Illinois are, right? If they really want to work upfield like this, right? You really want to work upfield, sure, we'll let you, right? We'll let you as long as we get our hips pointed this way, right? Look at the hips pointed this way, hips pointed this way. This guy's going to crash down. Take advantage of their aggressiveness, right? So just send your big tight end around to take out this play side linebacker, and you're golden. Look at all the open space, right? Taking advantage of the motion of a guy like Ronnie Bell does for your offense. So well executed. Shadyville says, "Go blue." Welcome to the stream. And well blocked play. And again, take advantage of how your opponent plays certain coverages and their defensive end crashing down like that, right? Take advantage of it. Okay, later on in the drive here, just under 2 minutes to go. One of the best throws of the game, probably, right? What is the coverage here? It looks like it's man, right? So they're disguising coverage. Looks like man. You got a single high safety back there on Mars. But it's not going to be man-to-man coverage. They're actually going to keep this guy out in the flat. This guy will be in the flat as well. They're going to drop him here, and then you're dropping this guy up the seam. And what else? You're dropping this guy deep, and I think you're bringing this safety down over here. So I think this is cover 3. Because you have your safety here actually playing down like a linebacker, but then he's going to drop back. So you have 8 in coverage here, right? You got 3 deep here, and you got 5 underneath. I can count. So that's what it looks like. You see 21 backing up here. He's getting that deep third. He's staying home here, and then you're going to drop this guy. I think he's supposed to drop to the middle here, but he's looking out for this seam. So that's why his eyes are immediately over here at this linebacker. And this guy's going to stay home in the flat while you have the deep safety likely responsible for anything over here. But he's playing the strong side, right? So I don't know the exact coverage or where that safety goes, but because of the numbers, because of the unbalanced set here for Michigan, he's likely shaded a little bit this way, even if it is a cover 3. So I'm not exactly sure, but it's zone. And because of that, right, because this guy is also this guy, they're kind of bracketing this, right? They're bracketing this sort of seam here between these two defenders. That's going to create some space down the sideline for Ronnie Bell, especially with this guy playing the flat as well. So it's good read here for JJ McCarthy. He reads that, recognizes it, and there's a window there. Right? There's a window there. Number 7 not able to get over there quickly enough. So it's a good job recognizing that, right? The eyes of JJ McCarthy. Pressure shouldn't be an issue, right? But I think JJ McCarthy seeing this, right? He's probably reading this safety, right? Because you have this up the seam. If he overplays this, right, you're going to have a window here for this seam right here. If he doesn't, right, if he is more responsible here, then Ronnie Bell to the outside, right, there's going to be a gap here between this defender and this guy reacting to it. So you're reading this guy. That's what JJ McCarthy's eyes are telling him to do. And he's able to drop that in between the zones there. So good catch, right? Good catchable ball. It's a good job for JJ McCarthy to place the ball where he did, right? Not further up the field. That'll take him out, right? Like if the ball is further this way, right? You give this safety a chance to make a play on it, and you could get your wide receiver lit up. So kind of hold him up here, right? Throw to the zone, not the path of the wide receiver. Throw to the zone a little bit, and throw it to a spot where the wide receiver can confidently catch it. So he does that, right? It's a good hit, even with the accurate ball, but it's a good play. So well done, and Michigan converts. Okay, now we're on 2nd and 10. If you don't want to watch the play, this is where Blake Corum gets hit. I don't want to show too much of the encounter. I'm not going to zoom in on the actual hit itself because I don't want to do that. It's a good play overall, though. Split zone. It's actually very similar to that other big play that Michigan had where, again, you're sending a guy in motion, right? Sending a guy in motion, take this guy out of the play. You're actually sending this guy on a crack block down here. So you're hoping to get this cornerback to follow and then just crack block. You're sending this guy across the formation, get the first guy flowing this way, and you just run this off tackle, right? So a little bit of a counter play here. Defensive end doesn't crash down as he did before, right? So they were expecting this guy, I think, to crash down. He's staying home. So that's going to turn into Colson Loveland's block kind of on this arc keep. He's just going to hold him up enough and then work to the outside. So it's pretty much there, right? Pretty much there. You'd like to see Colson Loveland pick up this block a little bit better. He doesn't. And then Blake Corum gets hurt. Obviously fumbles the ball because he's in pain. And it's just a bummer that it turned into a fumble, right? I'm not going to play this play any more forward than that. I think the play had better potential than the couple of yards that it ended up being. Obviously turned the ball over. It's a big swing, right? You're looking at a potential, at the very least, a field goal to go up 10-3 into half. Could have gotten a touchdown to go up 11. Unfortunately, it turned into a fumble. Better block, and that could have been 6. Yep, it could have been. And honestly, where did 17 come from? The play didn't necessarily work out how they wanted to because this defensive back plays this pretty well, right? I think Andrew Anthony, he probably could have sold this a little bit better. But again, he's coming down to get this crack block, right? So because he's not able to run anything that really looks like a slant, right? He's probably telegraphing this a little bit just by immediately looking over. Right, if he's looking up a little bit, like looking towards the defensive back before he makes his cut, that might be more convincing for this defensive back to follow. His eyes are already trying to identify his block, right? So that makes it a lot less likely for him to be actually going out on a route. So this cornerback's able to redirect into the backfield pretty easy. So it's not easy for Colson Loveland, right? He has to chip here, try to give enough time for Blake Corum to cut to the outside, and then release out with the hopes that this guy follows enough. But this guy doesn't. He kind of stays home. So that makes it a tough job for Colson Loveland, right? So I don't think Loveland does a terrible job there. I think you could argue he probably could have stayed on 17 there, who actually plays this pretty well. Could have stayed on 17 before redirecting to the outside. Just unfortunate. Unfortunate play, unfortunate hit. Unfortunate that it caused a turnover here. So that's 7-3. Moving into the second half here, we're at about an hour. I'll go probably another few plays here, and then we'll reconnect tomorrow on this for part 2. But into the second half here, 1st and 10. Really good stop down the line of scrimmage. So this is how you want. Oops, didn't mean to do that. This is how you want to react coming out of that, right? Tough injury. Should have been up by a little bit more. Bummer of a kind of a halftime, right? You want to be up by more than 7-3 and shut down the run, right? You want to shut down Chase Brown. So this is a pin and pull here for Illinois, and a couple players just do a really good job really constricting that hole. Who is responsible here for making a mess of this? A couple players. It's actually pretty much everyone wins their blocks here. So starting at the top of the screen, Jalen Harrell does a really good job recognizing this. Right, you got both 75 and 72 on a pole here. They're coming around, and it's a really good job for Jalen Harrell to recognize that. His job is just to blow shit up. Okay, blow this up. Just don't allow any space here. Take that out. So he takes on 72 pretty well, maintains outside leverage there. Could have done maybe a little bit better job in blowing that up, but does a good job establishing that and keeping outside contained. Okay. So he does that. Not the biggest of holes remaining there. Second block I'll call out here is Chris Jenkins. Chris Jenkins has one-on-one here on the offensive tackle. He simply wins. Shoot, didn't mean to do that again. Apologize. But Chris Jenkins, right, makes contact, and he simply wins, right? He's able to kind of fall into the backfield here. He gets pushed a little bit from Junior Colson, but he's making contact there in the backfield and then able to work his way and makes contact a yard behind the line of scrimmage. And then 2 other players here. Junior Colson does a really good job shooting into the backfield. So he recognizes the point of attack and gets downhill. Does a really good job there beating his block. Notice how he gets his shoulder small right here, right? This tight end is targeting him. Gets his shoulder small and works the inside. So really good job from him to get in there and then just find his way to the ball carrier. And then finally, Taylor Upshaw on the backside, right? They're leaving Taylor Upshaw unblocked. He really hustles down the line. I really like the angle he takes right at the heels, right? Follow the blocks. He doesn't commit, right? Notice how his hips are open here. Hips are open, really good technique, just allowing himself for any sort of redirection that he needs here. As soon as he confirms, yep, this is where the ball is, then he turns his hips and goes straight down the line, right? Boom, straight down the line. So really good technique from Taylor Upshaw, right? Wait, boom, I see the ball, go down the line of scrimmage, makes contact, right? So that's 4 players that just do their jobs, right? I would say Junior Colson probably does the best job. Chris Jenkins also there, but everyone contributes to get that tackle for loss. D Brown says, is Morris out Saturday? Not 100%. I don't know. I don't have the intel on that. If you're asking for my guess, I bet we see him back. But your guess is as good as mine. I felt that a number of players that they kept out against Illinois were more precautionary. They probably could have gone, but they wanted to ensure that they were healthy and give them an extra week of rest ahead of Ohio State. I think Morris fits into that. But again, that's more feelings, kind of just how I feel about it, not anything that I have insider knowledge on. But good question. He's a big part of this defense. He is crucial. Absolutely, he is crucial. Do need him back, especially for pass rush. Not a whole lot of guys who can do their own on pass rush. Mike Morris is one of those. This one, another frustration with the pass game. Shadyville going into a pass play here. Do you think there should be more throws on 3-step drops? With the type of receivers we have, it seems like that could help. I guess, Shadyville, do you mean more just like shorter passes in general? Just like hitches, slants, more quick passes rather than like 5-step drops, or I assume that's what you mean. But yeah, let me know if that's what you're discussing or if there's anything else. So the main reason I'm including this one is, again, it's not making the job of the quarterback. Two reasons, really. It's not making the job of the quarterback much easier because of how you're muddying up the routes here. Okay, so it seems like this is meant to be, and I'm not 100% sure on this top route, so that's just a question. But it seems like you're supposed to have kind of an in route, a slighter, deeper in route, a drive route from Hibner, and that's it, right? A late release, I think, here out of Tavier Dunlap. And that's what it's supposed to look like. I'm going to pause right here, right? Because this isn't what it's supposed to look like right here. You have two guys running exactly the same route, just one on top of the other. Okay, who's at fault here? I don't exactly know. It seems like to me that Colson Loveland is trying to work more vertical before getting across. And because of that physicality, he's unable to get it to cross earlier. To me, it seems like he probably should be getting deeper here, and Ronnie Bell is running here. But then this deeper route would possibly, I don't know what the word is, be in conflict with this deeper route on the outside. So I'm not 100% sure, but this contact muddies up the read here across the middle. Doesn't make it clean, right? So Colson Loveland is obviously trying to work through that. At a certain point, though, if you're Colson Loveland, if you're getting contact here, just continue up, right? You got to realize that there's another route coming here and that you need to vacate, that it does no good by both of you being here, rather than if you're not able to work through contact, right? You got to redirect that just because you have this route coming across as well. So that's number one. That's number one of not helping your quarterback out, right? There's a lot of bodies there that you're trying to throw to, and that's just not good. The second issue here is they lose Hibner. They lost Hibner. So Hibner is on this crossing route right here, right? And nobody's on him, right? Look at this guy. This guy's like, oh, crap, I'm in trouble. And he got both these routes clearing out these two defenders. And, man, you got Hibner running wide open. And J.J. McCarthy simply misses that. So, again, this is a confluence of errors where not only is this throw, there's possibly a window here. So this is kind of three errors here where wide receivers are not running clean routes, right? You got two guys running on top of each other. The throw is a little high, and J.J. McCarthy has been throwing a little bit high on his throws. And then you're missing a wide open pass here, right? You're missing this. That's not a good three things to be missing, right? If there's only one issue, then it's like, oh, we can just correct this one thing. And, we're all good. This is three issues with the route. The throw's a little high where he did decide to throw, and the throw wasn't where it probably should have gone, right? So it's not good, right? Errors are stacking here, and when there are errors that are stacking, it's harder to correct in 1 week. So it's tough. Shadyville, easy throws out of JJ's hands, an extension of the run game. Yeah, I mean, I like the introduction of the halfback screen that we saw a few times. A couple big plays in crunch time were those quicker sort of out routes. I think early in the game there were a lot of, like the one to Ronnie Bell I covered earlier in the game was one of those. So I think there are opportunities for the wide receivers for Michigan to introduce the screen game more to, like, AJ Henning. Obviously he's out, but like simple hitches, more slants and things like that. I think there are opportunities to introduce that more. I think that would help get a little bit more confidence in the wide receivers. But yeah, I don't disagree with you. I think there's a case for that. I still want to see JJ make that throw to Hibner. Hopefully he can anticipate that opening one day. I mean, there were a couple opportunities where he recognized Colson Loveland coming open on that, right? I think in this case, I think he is starting to get a little bit reliant on a given tight end. Before it was usually Schoonmaker. And in this case, it was Loveland in this game. Is just me, or did Cade read the field better last year? I mean, that was always the case with Cade McNamara, right? He usually made the right reads, especially when it came to intermediate throws, shorter throws. He was usually extremely accurate and made the right reads. Right, the downside was he wasn't mobile. Sometimes he threw the ball away, not able to create his own play when something broke down. Right now, as good of an improviser, and limited the run game without having a mobile quarterback in the way that J.J. McCarthy brings you. Right, so that's it. But yeah, if you don't have a quarterback that's able to execute this and make the right reads, right, your floor is going to be lower, even with a higher ceiling. That's always been the case between these two quarterbacks. So yeah. Shane Bell, one of the biggest JJ fans there is, almost seems like he's regressing. He was seeing the whole field earlier in the season. He's missing so many receivers and throws now. It's a good question. Is he regressing? I mean, he hasn't been as accurate, right? How much of that is wide receivers not able to get as much separation? It's something where when you are adding a lot to the playbook, right, and you're repping less plays because you have more things to rep, you lose familiarity with those things that you're good at, right? You're not repping the same throws. If you're adding more and more each week, maybe he's a little bit overwhelmed with that and not able to have the consistency that you would like on these plays. I don't know, right? I don't know. I think he's still young, right? It's his first year as a true starter. So I think you just need to be patient with him. Cade checked down all year. Let's not forget that. Bailed from the pocket too soon as well. I think generally Cade McNamara was decent in the pocket. Did he check down a lot? I think so. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any one solution, right? You get a lot of positives from J.J. McCarthy, especially in the run game. He has been good. I think he didn't have a good performance in the past couple games. And we haven't seen him as effective in the run game. I don't think it's mainly him. And I also think a lot of the struggles in the pass game aren't necessarily him either, right? Here's another pass. How much of this is on J.J. McCarthy, right? We don't actually know. We really don't know for sure. In this case, right, we saw a similar throw to this kind of the earlier one to Ronnie Bell between the zones, right? That was well delivered. How much of this is the route for Andrel Anthony not where it's supposed to be, right? And this is something where I'm not sure how this route is supposed to be necessarily run or how Michigan wants this to be run because I haven't seen enough of this, right? So the play design, it's there. Play design is there. I think this is Cornelius Johnson just going to run a little sit route, kind of a pick route. You do a little stutter and then get to the outside up the sideline. So what I don't know if this is something where you're looking to get more towards the sideline, right? Instead of this sort of straight path, you're trying to get more bubbled out towards here, right? If you're Andrel Anthony. And this concept is designed to set this sort of pick route, right? What was, when I did this last week, what was the issue for Andrel Anthony last week? On a go route, he wasn't able to get out of contact with the defensive back, and that threw him off of that route. So in this, right, with this sort of pick route, you're getting an advantage there of getting your guy without contact out on this route. But the ball isn't placed where it's supposed to be. Again, the mechanics of J.J. McCarthy, maybe it doesn't seem like he's stepping into this throw as much, right? He's kind of stepping to the side here. You'd probably want him to step forward. It seems like this step is kind of going to the outside here. He's not under pressure, right? So he's kind of stepping to the side there, opening up his hips a little bit instead of stepping into the throw. Again, I'm not a quarterback guru, but that could potentially explain it. But again, this doesn't seem like a terrible location for the ball. it just seems like he's not on the same page with Andrel Anthony. And mainly with Andrel Anthony, that's been a consistent issue on these sort of sideline throws of them not being on the same page. So could you argue, yeah, put a little bit more air under the ball? True, but you also have the safety coming across, right? So I don't hate the ball location. This is just, I think, another instance of these guys not being on the same page. And whether that's reps, whether that's something that is specifically Andrel Anthony, right? There's a number of these questions I don't think we'll fully have answered. I think it's just a little bit off, right? And it's frustrating. It's frustrating. It's this one isn't necessarily a bad route, but again, where according to Michigan's playbook and how he's coached, right, is he expected at this point, instead of going up here, is he expected to be closer to out here, right, and run up the numbers? Not 100% sure, right? I would have to look at the playbook because it's thrown as if he's supposed to be out here, right, not up here. But again, is this where he's supposed to be compared to right here? Is that an issue on Andrel Anthony or JJ McCarthy? Right? That's tough. That's surprising, especially since they even practiced together after games last season. I don't understand why they don't have chemistry. Yeah, it's tricky. Like, again, you're right. By all accounts, he should be able to have that chemistry, and that should be built there. So I don't have like an easy solution there. It's just not where it needs to be, right? And it's the number one concern against Ohio State. You're going to have to rely on that, and it's not looking good. So who knows? To me, what does this mean? This means that Michigan will have to scheme their way to the deep ball, right? It's not something where Michigan is going to be able to just throw it up to their guys and let them make plays. They haven't done that all year. You're going to have plays where you intentionally tell JJ McCarthy, hey, just complete it. Don't throw it open here, right? When there's situations where there's a window like this, right? There's a window to fit this ball into. Michigan has struggled a lot. So I don't know. At a certain point, you just hope there's a light that clicks, right? You have a good week of practice. People are on the same page, and you're able to execute better. At a certain point, you need to do that. And Shadyville's right. Good thing is that the plays are there. You just have to start connecting, right? At a certain level, you just got to execute, right? These plays are there. You see the windows. You see the separation. It's not like every play guys are messing up. It's just sometimes the wide receivers are running into each other. Sometimes there isn't a window to throw to. Sometimes there isn't separation. Sometimes you have a play and the quarterback's just not putting enough air on the ball. Sometimes the wide receiver isn't running the right route, or on different page. It's different each time. So I think that's worrying. Is it's not just one thing. There's a number of different things at different times that's just throwing off the pass game enough to become an issue. In my opinion, this is on the coaches. They should have spent more time building these young quarterback confidence up going into this game. I mean, these are throws. I mean, I get your point, Venice, but at a certain point, you want your quarterback should be able to make these passes, right? Tommy DeVito of Illinois was able to make a lot of timing passes, right? There were some tough passes he made as well. He was a better quarterback in this game, right? So you expect the talent of JJ McCarthy, smart guy too. You'd expect him to perform better than this. I think you would. I think it's something where, I don't know. I'm going to leave it at that. Okay, I'll be back tomorrow, hopefully, for the rest of the game. I'm going to take a mark of where we are at and come back here. But appreciate you guys for coming out and watching today. Throw a like on the video, subscription to the channel, throw a comment once the video is posted. Helps the algorithm push the content. And hopefully I'll be back tomorrow. I'll send out a tweet at Stephen Osentoski. You can find me on Twitter. I usually tweet out the evening if I am going live or not. So mark your calendars, people. All right. Appreciate you coming to hang out. Venice, Shadyville, Crispy Bagel, Wybin Co, D Brown, D Original. Thank you guys for participating in chat. M Roberts. Thank you all, and take care. I'll talk to you soon.